Yeah. Then I start. I want to talk both about the race, of course, but also to know a little bit more about you and your history as a runner. So, but let me start by saying a massive congratulations to a totally unbelievable performance.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
In the ultra running world, Yiannis Kouros, he's a legend, and his 24-hour record was possibly the most iconic world record at all, and nobody had been even close. When did you start dreaming of beating this record?
I understand. Максим, мне очень нравился этот рекорд. Я всегда хотел как бы приблизиться к нему, но до 2020 года я думал, что это недосягаемо. Только в 2021 году, когда мне удалось улучшить рекорд на 100 миль, и я понял, что я могу приблизиться и к 24 часам Куроса.
Yes, so of course he knew about this record for a long time, and he was dreaming to reach it. But until 2020, he was not even thinking that it's possible. It's only on 2020, after he has reached his results, he saw that I think I can at least approach the record. And in 2021, after beating the 100 miles record, he said, "Yeah, that's probably possible," and that's why he attempted to do so. Very recently.
Yeah, and you are one of those runners who start very fast. Others say that it's better to run a more even pace, but it made you the world champion, and now you were able to almost keep that pace for 24 hours. Was it the perfect race?
Максим, можешь перевести?
Ты один из тех спортсменов, которые начинают забег быстро, в отличие от других. Но на этих соревнованиях у тебя получилось держать постоянную скорость весь забег. Было это для тебя идеальным забегом?
Да, можно сказать, что этот был забег идеальный. И я просто мое тело, как бы я понял, что уже готово к 24 часам бежать с постоянным темпом. То есть раньше, когда я бежал, мне тело уставало, и после 12 часов начиналось уменьшение скорости, а сейчас оно смогло выдержать до конца дистанции.
Yes, he says it was a perfect race. He says that his body, it felt like his body is ready for keeping the same pace for 24 hours. And that's true that in previous races, his tempo went down after 12 hours. But this time, his body was ready to keep the same pace for 24 hours. So in short, yes, it was a perfect race.
So what did you feel when you knew that you had beaten the world record?
Я все время все равно боялся, я не знал, выдержит ли мое тело до конца этот темп. И только примерно за 3 часа до конца я понимал, что я, наверное, улучшу рекорд. И как бы, да, я был счастлив, но все равно надо было делать до конца дела. Я только расслабился, когда увидел отметку 300 километров.
He was not sure until the end that he will be able to beat the record if the body could actually keep the same pace until the end of the race. And only up to 3 hours to the end of the race, he felt that, that most probably he'll be able to break the record. But at the same, so of course he was very happy beating that. But after reflecting on the result right now, he said that maybe he should have gone to the end, because he said that he maybe relaxed too much when he has seen that he has beaten the record. and maybe he should have strived for pressing himself more and maybe continuing attempting to improve the result even more.
And maybe past 310 kilometers.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Andrei Tkachuk was also on world record pace for a long time, and he did one of the best performances in history. How important was it to have that competition?
Да, Андрей мне, во-первых, очень удивил, что он пробежал, показав третий результат за всю историю. Я не ожидал, что у него тоже так хорошо получится. И да, мне он очень помог, потому что мы все время конкурировали, примерно до 16 часов мы бежали вместе и не знали, кто выйдет вперед. И это, наверное, тоже одно из тех вещей, которое помогло держать мне рекорд.
Yes, yes. He says that he's quite surprised for Andrei Tkachuk performance, and he's yes, sort of. He's also surprised that he, if I understand correctly, that he managed to reach the third result in history for 24 hours. And at the same time, he's very helpful that it happened like this in this competition. As he explains, they ran together until approximately 16 hours with the same pace, and that helped Aleksandr to keep his pace basically the same. So that's why he's quite helpful to Andrei Tkachuk for this competition, for being able to also achieve what he has achieved.
Excellent. Yeah, and you have the best time at Spartathlon. That is not Yiannis Kouros, and you have smashed the 100 miles and 12-hour records. And of course, you became the 24-hour world champion in 2019. When you started this 24-hour event in Poland, was your mind already set on beating the world record?
Да, я думал о рекорде. Я думал о рекорде примерно уже 1,5 года, наверное. Я очень надеялся его победить. Да, у меня были очень сильные надежды на эти соревнования. И я рад, что все сошлось очень хорошо. Идеальная трасса, идеальная погода, идеальная поддержка. И все получилось. Максим? Максим?
I'm sorry, I was muted. I think that's the phrase of 2020. Yes, he was thinking about beating the record for some time. He mentions last 1.5 years at least. And he's happy that everything went fine this time. It was good racing conditions in terms of the weather. It was the good track. It was he had a great support from his teammates, and basically all the conditions were perfect, and that helped him to achieve what he has achieved.
Excellent. And you did not start your career in the usual way. I understand it all began in 2012 when you felt that you no longer wanted that unhealthy lifestyle with drinking and smoking. Why did you start running?
Наверное, первая причина – это я хотел избавиться от лишнего веса. Мне не нравилось свое тело. Я не мог не видеть себя в зеркале таким, и я решил исправить это. И как бы большие соревнования – это такая как бы цель, длинные соревнования. Это была цель для моя, такой ишукис. Максим?
So basically the reason for him starting running the long distances was his overweight, and he didn't like himself seeing in the mirror. He didn't like his body in terms of because it was fat. That's why he started to running, and the long distances was basically just a long-term goal, just to run long distances, and that's basically was the reason for him starting running the long distances.
Yeah, and now you are training a massive amount, and obviously you have built a super strong body over these years. How have you been able to stay away from injuries when you are training so much and so fast?
Мне очень помогает физиотерапевт, с которым я сейчас работаю. Он меня спасает от травм. Наверное, это большая его заслуга. Но я все равно получаю микротравмы. Я иногда, например, в прошлом году я был травмирован почти весь сезон. Этот сезон мне повезло, что я не получил травму. Да, но я всегда хожу на грани между травмой и нет. Максим?
He works with I'm not sure if the works is a correct word here, but I understand correctly. He works with a physiotherapist who helps him to avoid the traumas or injuries. So to avoid injuries. And according to him, that physiotherapist help him a lot and helps him a lot still to avoid those injuries. But it's not really true that he has not any. He mentions that the last season, basically, he was injured the whole last season. And he was really happy that he managed to stay away from injuries this season and also for these championships. But he also says that he always walks on the line between being injured and non-injured. So he emphasizes that he walks really on the line.
Yeah, to stay at the top, you have to walk that line, I suppose. And this week, most of the ultra running world had their eyes on Chamonix and the UTMB week. And as we admired the performances of Courtney Dauwalter and François Dan, suddenly the social media feeds started to be filled with something that was hard to understand, and almost nobody had anticipated this to happen. And when Kilian Jornet, he made a big deal about his effort to beat the 24-hour world record last year. But it seems that this time it was an event that was under the radar a little bit. Not so many knew about it.
Максим, можешь перевести?
Сейчас, насколько я понимаю, верно, сейчас в данное время происходили некоторые другие чемпионаты, где кто-то показал, там были имена, которые я, к сожалению, запомнил, которые показали какие-то хорошие результаты. И также в прошлом году какой-то другой спортсмен тоже пытался побить 24-часовой рекорд. Но внезапно все внимание социального медиа переключилось на тебя, это событие. И конкретный вопрос, I will double check the question. Your specific question is that how come this competition were under the radar for some time? Is that your question?
Yeah, that's right. Not so many people knew that we could see a world record happening this weekend.
Yeah. Так что как так получилось, что эти соревнования как бы были вне радаров, что они как бы внезапно, откуда ни возьмись, был побит 24-часовой рекорд мира. Как так получилось, что никто об этом не знал до события самого?
Да, потому что я должен был бежать на чемпионате мира 24 часов, но так как они были перенесены на другой год, я выбрал чемпионат Польши. Ну, это так происходило тихо, потому что, например, ну, не было громко сказано, потому что я не хотел, например, рассказывать перед соревнованиями, что я хочу сделать, потому что это как бы не по-мужски, то есть сначала дело, а потом слова. Я не хотел делать сначала слова, а потом дело. Как-то так.
Yeah. So, yes, that was true. So he confirms, yes, that was under the radars. So the reason for that is that, well, first of all, he was aiming to perform on the 24 hours World 24 hours championship this year, which was canceled, well, moved to another year. and that's why he chose just another championship to perform. Yes, that was under the radars because he did not want to make it to announce that he wants to attempt to break the world record and then do it, because it's as he mentions that, as he explains it, serious people don't do that. You first have to show it, that you first have to do it, and then maybe explain your intent, instead of kind of announcing it in advance and maybe not showing the results in the end. So that's why it was under the radar, because that's true. It was not really announced by him that he wants to attempt to break the record.
Yeah, it's better to do it than to talk about it.
Yes, sure.
Yes.
That's exactly actually how he referenced that.
Yeah. And you work at a casino, but I understand in the last year you have been able to focus much of your time on training. Of course, Corona gave you less work at the casino, but do you now also have sponsors to be able to focus more of your time on training?
Я до сих пор еще не имею постоянных спонсоров. Я просто благодарен людям, которые помогли мне этот сезон бежать. Насчет следующего сезона я пока не уверен. Я еще не имею договоров никаких. Посмотрим, жизнь покажет, как будет впереди. Максим?
He doesn't have any like permanent strong sponsors, and he's just thankful for all the people who help him to achieve what he has achieved in this season. And he basically doesn't know what's going to happen next season. That was his answer.
Yeah, so maybe that answers my next question also, because now you have the 100 miles record, you have the 12 hours record and the 24-hour world records. Are you now aiming for Yiannis Kouros records at 48 hours and 6 days, or what is your next goal?
Я еще не думал о 48 часов, я еще, наверное, не дорос до этого. Я не хочу умирать молодым еще. Может быть, попозже я попробую 48, но пока для меня это кажется невозможным. Слишком долго.
Yes, he answered only the 48 kind of hours part. Maybe I'm gonna ask the other part of the question later. He says that he has not thought about breaking 48 hours record because he thinks that he hasn't grown into that level to beat the record. He currently thinks that that's unachievable for him at his current stage. He says that he doesn't want to die young, but he might want to try it at some point later. I'm just going to ask your other part of the question. Maybe he wants to add it. Тебя еще спросили не только о 48 часах, но о других рекордах. Например, о 6 дней. Да. Есть тебе что-то добавить?
Нет. Пока я остановлюсь на сутках, я хочу еще побегать их.
I explicitly asked him about the 6 days record, and he says no, and he detailed previous answers saying that he wants to focus only on the 24 hours and would like to run those for a little while.
Fantastic. It's been an honor talking to you, and I think what we saw this weekend, it was something that we will remember for many years in the history books. But Yiannis Kouros, he said that it will take a century until somebody beat his record. It took 24 years. How long will it take until somebody beat your record?
Да, Курос сказал, что это рекорд на века. Мне пришлось просто доказать, что он немного не прав. Я хочу, чтобы этот рекорд немножко побыл, но все рекорды должны биться, и я думаю, что в скором времени его и тоже побьют.
Yeah, he answers in a sort of say a funny way, saying that he just had to show that Kouros was not really true, that it will be for centuries. So he had to prove that it can be beaten, and he hopes that this record will stay for some time, but he thinks that it most probably is unlikely, and someone will probably break it sometime soon.
Did you hear anything from Yiannis Kouros?
Я очень хотел с ним пообщаться, но как-то не находил контакты. Я пытался найти его в Фейсбуке, не нашел. Я надеюсь, он меня услышит. Я хочу с ним пообщаться, просто спросить. Может, он меня что-нибудь спросит. Максим.
He says that he actually wanted to. He wants to talk to him about different things, but he didn't manage to get a contact of him. He tries to search it everywhere, social media and stuff like this, but he could not reach him. So he still hopes that he will have a chance to talk to him sometime soon if someone could make it happen.
Sounds great. And from now on, Aleksandr Sorokin will be the man everyone wants to talk to. So again,
You, Daniel, first.
Yeah, thank you. And it was an honor talking to you. And again, massive congratulations to a totally amazing performance.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dan. And передаю привет всем шведским бегунам. Спасибо за поддержку.
And he sends, well, I'm sorry, I forgot the English expression, but he says, I'll explain straight away. He sends hello to all the Swedish supporters and runners, and he thanks very much for the support.
Excellent, thank you. I know you will get many more fans in Sweden also from this.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
so
very much.
Very nice talking to you. I will